for this episode, I got a little something special. In this bag is 2 pounds of AA grade, unroasted Tanzanian coffee beans. But they begin to crack just a tiny bit, and they've gone from that. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. Welcome back, guys, to your new favorite cooking show, Fuck Recipes. We're actually right here in the middle of the second part of the second episode of a segment we call
What the fuck is that?
And essentially what happened in the first part is I roasted my own coffee beans. Now if you missed that, I'm going to go ahead and throw up a link on the screen real quick. Click it if you want to see that whole process. But what I have here in this mug is the end result of my roasting. Now before I actually taste this coffee here, I'm actually going to first get a closer look at these beans here. Now they are looking pretty oily, which is a good sign of something closer to a dark roast. However, it can also come with medium roast territory as well. Something interesting about this is that there is that coffee smell and that coffee flavor. However, it's also carried a lot more smokiness than I thought would be carried over by these beans. Yeah, they smell almost exactly like campfire. But they look like they turned out pretty nice. They taste like coffee. Wow, that's pretty good actually. Wait a second. Don't get me wrong, I love coffee. And while I could almost eat those beans whole as is, I think I'd rather have a clean palate for all this. Alright, the color of this coffee here is also darker than I thought it'd be. It went through the pour over so quickly. Like usually it sits there for a little while and then passes through. But despite having a fine grind, it passed almost through right directly. However, had no effect on the color of the coffee. And usually a coffee that's not as pungent or not as strong will usually have a lighter color than this. And this is just pitch black, so it's gotta be good, right? Let's test that. Ooh, however it's mellower and it's smoother than I thought it'd be. Like there's very little bitterness to it. It's very surprising. Usually a darker roast will carry a lot more bitterness than this. However, all I get is sweetness in the aftertaste. Yeah, I could do this again. Oh man, I can already feel the caffeine starting to hit me. This is gonna hit me like a freaking train. It's gonna hit me like an abusive stepfather slapping around his adopted ginger kid. Anywho, let's continue with the review. I'm getting way back in the aftertaste. I'm getting just the tiniest bit of those fruity notes they were talking about. The kind of crispness of a pear and a citrus fruit, but a little bit sweeter. So it kind of goes like bitterness and smokiness up front, then it quickly fades to sweetness, then fruitiness. I'm not getting any of those spices from the spice cradle. Okay, maybe there's a touch of sage in the smell. But outside of that, I haven't picked any of that up in the actual coffee yet. By the way, we're about halfway down. Okay, now towards the bottom of the cup, we're getting a slightly different layer arrangement. It's more like, kind of like a smooth intro into like a chocolatiness, kind of like sweet, bitter, then into the more typical coffee bitterness, into coffee bitter sweetness, into bitterness, into those fruity flavors again. So overall, definitely give this a try. Roasting your own coffee has been awesome. It's fun. It's a good way to kill time. It can save you money if you shop right. And overall, you know, you get to learn something a little bit more that I love and that I hope you love as well. Getting into the craft of coffee, understanding more about it. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go ahead back and take a look at that. I got food remixes on here. That's kind of the main thing. However, we also got a few episodes of What the Fuck Is That Up? Hit that subscribe button if you thought this was super rad, super cool, and if you'd like to see more of these. And if you've roasted your own coffee before, or thought this looked delicious, or have a cool idea for something else I could do coffee related, hit that thumbs up, comment what you've done below, and what your overall experience with coffee roasting has been. Until the next one, guys. Woo!